Hey everyone, welcome back to Teen TV Deep Dive. I'm your host Alyssa, and here on this podcast we talk about all things teen TV. So today I wanted to do another theme topic episode because I had a lot of fun the last time, but I also seen this video by Kimmy Books. I'll link her video down in the description where she talked about TV couples or book character couples that she really liked and felt passionate about. And I thought it was really cool, and I would kind of take my favorite couples and characters and make an episode of my own. So shout out to her for the inspiration behind today's episode. As I said, today we're going to be talking about some of my favorite TV couples and just TV couples that I feel really passionate about. I'm not really going to go in any specific order, and it's really not much backstory to give you guys. So let's just get straight into it. First couple I wanted to talk about is Devi and Paxton from Never Have I Ever. In my opinion, it just felt like they should have been endgame to me because one, that's what made the show, like that's what started the show, is just Davey wanting to pursue a relationship with him and become popular. And also Davey did grow a lot over the course of the show, but I also think she helped Paxton, and like Paxton did grow as well too, and Davey was the person who helped him grow and reach new points in his life. So I just felt like as a couple they could have continued to help each other and just continue to grow as people. As well as I just like Paxton a lot more than who Davey ended up with. So I feel like he was a better option. Moving on, I wanted to talk about Stiles and Lydia from Teen Wolf. And I did see this in Kimmy's video, but as I was watching it, they had really good chemistry, um, as well as just a lot of love for each other that was low key. But I thought back just randomly. I was thinking about Stiles and Lydia, and I thought back. They never actually got together and dated on the show. I don't remember. At least I don't remember that happening. And it's so crazy because there is so much untapped potential in that relationship. The way that they would fight for each other's lives. I just really love Stiles and Lydia. And also, Stiles was my favorite character from Teen Wolf. So to have him be with the person that I feel like he loves the most would have been what I really wanted to see. And so I'm really sad that they never got together. I'm actually really shocked about that. Next, I feel like this is kind of a niche type of ship to have, but it's Sonny and Chad from the Disney show Sonny with a Chance. And I just really love Sonny and Chad's banter that they had. I liked how they were from kind of two different quote unquote worlds, even though they were both tween TV stars. You had Chad, who was more on the drama side, and I believe I forgot what show they were trying to do a parody of for Chad, but I do remember that Sunny with a Chance and So Random was supposed to be like a kid's version of SNL. So side note, I just ended up Googling it, and it was just supposed to be a parody of basically every teen drama that I love watching and love talking about on this podcast, kind of mixed into one. But anywho, I loved how they were from different worlds and kind of in different realms of entertainment. And I also enjoyed how Chad kind of had a soft spot for Sunny. And she also made him a lot more humble because he was definitely really spoiled to the Hollywood lifestyle and just the type of people that he decided to surround himself with, who he was working with every day, were kind of toxic and fake. And I feel like Sunny being in his life made him a lot more down to earth, kind of humanized him a little bit more. And I don't remember if they end up together, but probably not, because if you guys can't already tell, three ships deep, I I love the relationships and the couples that never end up actually staying together. So yeah. Moving on, we have Mercedes and Sam from Glee. And they dated for on again, off again for probably three seasons, I think, like 3, 4, and 5. But even though Sam did date every other girl in the Glee Club, I I really liked him and Mercedes together. I feel like he gave her the attention and the spotlight that she truly deserved. Over the course of the show, especially on Glee, we see all the other characters kind of find someone that can put the spotlight on them and make them feel special, and everybody else has their moments to shine and gets their solos and things like that. But Mercedes, we see, doesn't really get any of that. But I feel like her relationship with Sam was a little bit different because one, it wasn't toxic, and two, it didn't have as many ups and downs and will we get together, will we not get together beforehand like all the other characters did. I thought it was a really sweet and simple relationship that I think Mercedes benefit from a lot. But I also feel like Sam too, because I think that Mercedes seeing him for him instead of how everybody else kind of seen him as the new hot guy or the like boy toy or whatever. I think Mercedes truly liked him for his personality and just the kind of characteristics that he was able to bring to their relationship. And also because Glee is about music, I loved all of the songs that they sing together. Like I love the Glee version of Human Nature because of them. I feel like their voices also go well together too, which I think also really matters in the context of Glee. Next couple, another Glee couple, is Brittany and Santana, all-time favorite couple. I love Santana. She's one of my favorite Glee characters. She's in like my top 3. And there's so many people on Glee. It really matters. So to see Santana be happy with somebody is something that I really want because she's my favorite character. But also, again, for Brittany, people kind of seen her as an airhead or didn't think there was much to her. And I think Santana truly seen her. And also, Brittany as well. She's seen Santana past like the mean girl front or all the tough girl acts. She really just seen Santana for who she was. And I was really happy when they were able to finally be together and just be open about who they are and their journey of becoming a couple. Next up, we have Janine and Gregory from Abbott Elementary. Something that I enjoyed about this couple that I normally don't enjoy when I like watch or read romance is they kind of had a slow burn. It was a super slow build up over the course of the show to finally bring them together and have their feelings about each other out in the open. And I think that made me root for them even more because I really do love both Janine and Gregory. But I don't know, it was something about the slow burn, like the yearning for them to be together that just drove me crazy and made me really passionate about this couple. I also enjoy how they both have the same passions. I think with a lot of shows, you don't really see as much depth to characters or really that whole why they're together. But I think them being able to bond over having a passion for education and just helping children and working with kids is a really nice thing to bond over. And it also feels like that makes them have a more solidified future, if that makes sense. I don't want to jinx it, but I think just them knowing that they both like kids and get along with kids could help them forever in their future. Next up, I wanted to say Andre was literally every girl from the Victorious cast. And it was a shame that he ended up single because he had such great chemistry with every single girl. I think with Tori, he had a lot of creative chemistry with her, just being able to come up with so many songs together and sing, and they sound amazing together. But also, I think with Kat, Andre was a lot more playful with her and was kind of able to keep her on her toes without making her feel bad or dumb. He was a lot kinder to Kat than I feel like a lot of the other characters were. and not so much in the sense where I feel like Robbie almost babied her and fawned over her. I think Andre still treated her like she was a real person and they were the same age, you know? And then with Jade, oh my gosh. With Jade, I liked how Andre was so down bad for her and how they couldn't be together, but I really wanted them to be together, but then they couldn't be together. It was so much, and I loved all of it. I just wish he ended up with somebody, even just because it would be kind of messy for a kids show or a tween show for him to end up with the main character. I think it would have still been nice to see him with somebody that he's in a happy relationship with. But yeah. Moving on, I wanted to talk about Blair and Dan from Gossip Girl. I won't touch on this too much because I've already made an episode about season 5 of Gossip Girl and I've mentioned their relationship in there. But in my humble opinion, I think that Dan and Blair were probably the healthiest couple from the Gossip Girl show, and also the most realistic couple. But also they were just my favorite because one, they're really intellectually compatible, and just how both of them were smart people who like to do quote unquote smart things. You had Blair, she really was into art and old movies and learning French and just the history and French culture aspect of things. But then you also had Dan, who was into like plays and literature and writing and all those types of things. And when they were able to have conversation on the show, like just the fake little conversations that they would interrupt to actually have drama happen, were actually stimulating for the both of them. And I think with theirs, it wasn't so much based on physical aspects, on how a lot of other characters on that show had relationships like, but I think it was also just more on a mental level. They were able to see eye to eye. And I also liked how they started off absolutely hating each other, but then over time, their walls were kind of broken down and it became like acquaintances, then friends, and then more than friends. I really think that that was Dan's biggest love that he had on that show. I think that Dan probably loved Blair more than Serena, if you asked me. But I don't think Blair loved Dan as much as she loved Chuck, even though I feel like she should have. They just worked really well together. Next up, we have Bonnie and Damon from the Vampire Diaries. Again, they're another couple that don't actually get together, but just seeing their chemistry and the tension between them when they were in that secluded world. It's been a really long time since I've watched the Vampire Diaries, so I can't explain exactly where they were. But when it was just the two of them and just seeing them once again go from hating each other to neutral to acquaintances and to the getting on the brink of there being something more was really nice to see that transformation happen. And also, I think Bonnie was kind of played off to the side a lot throughout the show just by how her character was written, but also by her friends and like the other creatures that there are in the show. And Damon is the type of person he's very out loud and very protective of the people that he cared about. So honestly, I just think Bonnie needed somebody that wouldn't play about her. I'll just keep it real. Like she needed somebody that wouldn't play about her, that would keep her safe. And with Damon, I think that he needed someone with a little more personality or realness to them. I don't know how else to say it. But I think he needed someone to hold him down a little bit more solidly than what Elena did. I feel like Elena didn't have enough substance to her that I think Bonnie had. Bonnie had a little more grit and kind of a more rough past and things that she was able to overcome, unlike Elena. So I feel like they were on the same level with things like that. Next, we have Elle and Marco from the Kissing Booth franchise. And Marco wasn't in the first movie, but he ended up coming into the second movie and stayed for the third. And basically, when I almost called her Lara Jean, but basically, when Elle needed help to win the dance competition for college tuition money, Lee ended up dropping out. And then this guy named Marco came in because he was the like high level ranking player at the arcade that they go to in their town. And they ended up spending a lot of time together trying to do this like video game dance-a-thon competition routine, and they ended up forming feelings for one another. But of course, Elle felt bad because she was dating Noah still at the time, and so she broke things off, and that really hurt Marco's heart. And the thing is, Elle was so jealous the whole time and had this suspicion that Noah was cheating or meeting other girls that were more mature and interesting than she was because she was still in high school and he was in college. Marco was right there, very much interested in her, that had things in common. He got along with Lee pretty fine. I just, I didn't really see what the holdup was with wanting to stay with Noah, even though he was kind of becoming mean to her because he got jealous too. I feel like Elle should have just went with Marco. I feel like that was the more obvious answer, but I guess not. Moving on to Pope and Cleo from OBX. I like how they're both really smart people, and just the type of smarts they are different. Pope is very much book smart. He knows the answers to a lot of things. He knows right from wrong, and he's kind of like the moral compass of the group to keep them on the up and up. But then I feel like Cleo is more street smart. She knows that sometimes you have to compromise to keep yourself safe before you can do the right thing for everybody. So I feel like they just balance each other out. And I think they're probably the best couple from Outer Banks just because of how responsible they are. And they just vibe really well together, too. The last couple I'm going to be talking about is Zoey and Luca from Grownish. While they didn't work out, and I definitely do see some faulty characteristics in the both of them, I do feel like they worked pretty well together. They were both creatives into fashion. They had a lot of things in common so that they could still just spend time together and bond with each other really easily. But I do think both of them could be kind of divas at times because they were also creatives and into fashion and cared a lot about their looks and aesthetics. That I think that's what made them clash at times because no one really wanted to dull their divaness to compliment the other person. They both wanted to be like the main centerpiece and like the main masterpiece of the art show. So I think they can't really be a duo or a group in a sense. They can really only be solo acts if you get what I'm saying. Like they just don't work well together actually, but in theory it sounds a lot better. But I do appreciate the sweet moments when they were still in that honeymoon phase of their relationship. And I also do still think that they cared about each other a lot, but it's still a lot more nuances to their relationship that I won't get into for this episode because I definitely want to talk about Grownish in the future. But yeah, I do really like Zoey and Luca though. So yeah, that is all for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. How about you comment down below your favorite couple from teen TV, movies, or whatever? And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up as well as to subscribe to my channel for more. Be sure to follow me on my other social medias, both Instagram and Facebook, at Teen TV Deep Dive Podcast for more. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.